Welcome to Arirang Live. It's after 2 p.m. here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. In just a minute, we're going to cross over to the latest briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the COVID-19 outbreak. Earlier in the morning, South Korea confirmed 39 new cases, the number dropping to the 30s for the first time in 4 days. Of the new cases, 28 were imported. That's more than double the amount of local cases, which numbered 11. Most of the overseas cases are from clusters among crew members on Russian ships docked in Busan City. The number of imported cases has remained in double digits for over 3 weeks. The briefing has just begun, so let's take a listen.
Let us now begin our regular briefing for July 18th on the COVID-19 situation here in South Korea. As of today midnight, we have 11 new local infections, and the total number of confirmed cases now stands at 13,711. A total of 59 more people have been discharged following full recovery, while 898 people are in quarantine. And this is the first time that this number has dropped below the 900 mark for the first time in early June. And we also have one additional fatality, and I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved families. And here are some updates on our major domestic infections. Related to an office building in Gwanak-gu District, Seoul City, we have 3 new cases, and the total now stands at 19 as to date. And we also have reclassified 3 from yesterday, and this is ultimately a 6th number increase from the day before. And also in relation to Gyeonggi-do Province Church at Goyang City, we also have increase of the confirmed cases, and the total now stands at 44. In relation to Hana Life Insurance in Seoul City, we have 3 more cases, and the total now increased to 11. And we also have in Seoul, Seongsu High School, we also have additional case, and we are also conducting the epidemiological investigations. There were high school students as well as teachers who were confirmed. Here are now updates on our imported cases. Today we had 28 new imported cases, 12 of which have been reported at points of entry, while the rest 16 were reported throughout the community while they were on self-quarantine. And out of the 28 new imported cases, 5 were from the US, the USA, and 2 from Europe, and 21 from Asia, excluding China, 7 from Uzbekistan, 3 from Philippines, and 3 from Pakistan. During the past day yesterday, we also had about 154 ships docking in the ports, 11 ports nationwide, and we have carried out our onboard quarantine for these boats. And yesterday, we also mentioned during our briefing session, however, we also wanted to make it clear that some of the imported cases, as for also the increased transmissions of the community cases, we have been conducting our epidemiological investigation and a successful curbing of the virus as well. And after all of the foreign entrants are entering into Korea, we are mandating all of them to wear face masks and to disinfect their hands after picking up their belongings. And they are also mandated to take only the special transportation that are designated for these foreign entrants. In addition, when they use their own vehicles, we are asking the people to refrain from having their members of family members to not have a physical contact like shaking of hands. And they are also advised to sit at the back row so that they have a safe distance. And while they are on the move, they are also asked to refrain from consuming food. And also when they arrive at their residences, we are also asking them to conduct a disinfection of their belongings and themselves, and we are also mandating them to keep compliance to the quarantine guidelines. Here are some of the quarantine guidelines that you need to comply with during the weekend. And first of all, we ask you to refrain from going to the small group meetings that are carried out at places of worship. And as it is also summer holidays, we ask you to wisely spend your summer holidays, and we ask you to comply with the following quarantine protocols. If you have a fever or if you have other special symptoms, please cancel or postpone your summer vacation plans, and please get tested as soon as possible. And if you are going on a summer vacation, please avoid going to crowded places, and please go with just small groups of people, and also be on the move with your own vehicle. And if you are going to these destinations, please keep 2 meters of healthy distance and always wear face masks when you are indoors. And please refrain from going to closed, crowded, close contact environment, and also take special precautions if you are also going to enclosed spaces like restaurants or cafes. And during the weekend, as for wearing masks, we ask you to cover up both your mouth and nose when you wear face masks, and please refrain from touching the surfaces of face masks, and please wash your hands after touching your face masks. So please make these daily routine. And before we wrap up, here are a few words for the public. The WHO sees that when you see the global pandemic records, it seems as if the global record is also reaching a new record every day. And yesterday, over 230,000 people have been confirmed on a daily basis. And also in the US or India and in other parts of the world, we also see an increase of the infections by over 3 million in a day. And also in Japan, neighboring Japan, we also have a great increase of these infections. And also, it is very clear that COVID-19 pandemic is clearly a beginning. It's also continuing, and no one country can say that they have overcome the virus successfully. And therefore, taking into consideration these global pandemic trends, we are currently exerting our full efforts to curb the number of imported cases. And starting from next week, we are going to intensify and increase our list of high-risk countries from 4 to 6. And as for all of the Russian-flagged ships that are embarking in South Korea, we are also mandating them to carry out PCR testings for all of the sailors. And we are also taking a close eye on the domestic cases, which are increasing at the metropolitan area, Gwangju and Daejeon also, and they are also we are seeing the cluster infections, especially among 3C environment. However, fortunately, we are also seeing a success curbing of the large-scale and massive outbreak. We believe that these were possible because of the efforts put forth by the local governments as well as the participation on the public level. So these were able to cut the chains of transmissions going forward, and this was also possible due to the many dedications by the medical practitioners as well as early testing and swift testing as well. Unfortunately, it is true and it's clear that the COVID-19 pandemic will continue in a prolonged period in the future as well, and also easing such distancing measures in South Korea will be also not inevitable in the near future. And as the virus sees no ends, we understand that the members of the public have great level of fatigue against the virus. But it is for clear that if you comply with these quarantine measures, including wearing face masks and keeping health distance, you can protect yourself. And moreover, you can also maintain a balance between your daily routines and quarantine and maintain a new norm in our daily routines. Of course, even at this moment, there are many cases where people are reluctant to get tested as soon as possible, even after showing symptoms. And also there are cases when people are relaxing from distancing and wearing a face masks. However, the quarantine authorities, we will continue to make the people stay on alert, and we also hope that we will end the virus soon. Thank you very much.
There you have it. We'll bring you more details on the briefing in our upcoming 6 p.m. regular newscast. Until then, goodbye.